Ciao a tutti e bentornati in un nuovo video. Hi everyone and welcome to a new video. Today I wanna give you some tips on how to learn Italian fast and for real. Whether you're planning a trip to Italy, whether you are falling in love with Italian culture, or if you simply want to start learning this beautiful language, today I've got you covered with my tips. I promise this is not one of those boring learn the grammar rules videos. Grammar is very important, but it's not what this video will be about. And as someone who learned / is learning other languages while living abroad, I know a few things about this topic. Let's immediately start with point number 1. Focus on the most useful words and sentences first. So here's the thing, you don't need to know every single Italian word to be able to speak confidently and to be understood by native Italian speakers. Instead, focus on the most common words and phrases, especially those that you would use in a real-life situation. So simply start from the most common phrases such as ciao, buongiorno, how are you, come stai, quanto costa, how much is it. I would say it's also important to focus on the verbs that you would use most commonly in many different sentences, like to go, andare, to eat, of course, mangiare, to do, fare. You can gradually start creating small sentences starting from those words, and believe me, you will use them a lot in many different combinations of sentences and in many real-life situations. Here's a little challenge I usually do when I want to learn a new language, or that I simply suggest you to do when learning Italian. Try to have the goal of learning a certain amount of words per day. It doesn't need to be 100 because that's simply impossible. At least if you are not spending your whole day studying languages, it can even be as little as 5 each day, which with time will be quite a lot. And maybe a little additional suggestion on that, you can try to combine them per topic. So instead of learning 5 random words each day, it could be one day 5 words on houses, rooms, 5 words regarding clothes, 5 words regarding food, 5 words regarding tourism, and so on. Let's move on to the point number 2, which in my humble opinion is super important. Make Italian language part of your routine. And what do I mean from that? Let's start from saying that you don't need to spend hours and hours every day in learning Italian or any other language really, and let's be honest here, most of us don't have that time. However, small daily habits can make a huge difference when it comes to learning Italian. For example, when you're having your morning coffee or if you are commuting, spend 10-15 minutes on apps such as Duolingo or Memrise. Sometimes when we are, for example, commuting or eating before going to work, we just scroll without any sense or purpose our phone. I do that as well, I have to admit, and it's not like you need to be necessarily productive, but sometimes it's nicer, instead of just watching random videos, to do something a little bit more useful, you know. Another nice tip I have for you is switch your language on your mobile phone to Italian. Maybe don't do that right away, immediately when you start learning the language, because it could be quite challenging and maybe you will not know how to go back to your original language. But after a while, I think that's very useful. And very often in the past I did it as well. For example, sometimes I had my phone in Russian or in Slovak language. If you are a person that likes journaling, I'd suggest to write a small journal entry in Italian. It doesn't need to be a long page. It could just be a couple of sentences, like for example, oggi non voglio andare in ufficio. Today I don't want to go to the office. Very common sentence. You know, you gradually incorporate more words and small sentences, and especially those are words that you would use in daily life. So in my opinion, that would be very useful. When it comes to making Italian language part of your routine, another thing that I suggest and that I do a lot in any language I'm interested into is to follow Italian content creators, for example on YouTube. So here you can either choose to follow creators that are practically and proactively teaching the language. I will write a few names in the description of this video, or if you just wanna watch like chill content, you could, for example, follow travel bloggers or food bloggers, like just people that talk in Italian about other topic, not necessarily about learning the language. So this way you'll combine listening about a topic you are interested in with practicing your listening skills. A similar suggestion to this one, still within the group of making Italian part of your routine, would be to watch Italian movies. This is one of the most common ways to learn a language, and very often you can make it easier by watching the movie, for example, with subtitles. I used to do this a lot in the past when I was learning English. And with Italian, you are quite lucky because there is a lot of content in Italian. And never forget about Italian music. Listening to music is a very funny way, in my opinion, to learn languages. When I was a teenager and I was learning English, I used to listen to a lot of English songs, and also I really liked translating the words that I didn't know. So on this, you can not only choose and listen to your favorite songs, but if you wanna kind of study a bit more actively, or if you have a bit more of time, you could also look for the words that you don't know and learn them. So the key is really consistency. Even if you have just a few minutes per day, if you are consistent, if you do it on a daily basis, you will improve a lot. The point number 3 is also very important and is start speaking from day one. This one is very challenging. I know very much how challenging it is, because I personally always have some kind of problem speaking because I'm very shy, but trust me, it will help you a lot. In the end, I realized that no one really cares, even if you're making mistakes, so just do it without being too much scared. Just do it, just speak, and trust me, Italian native speakers will be very happy to speak with you. They will help you if you make mistake, and they will just appreciate that you are making an effort. So on this, let me give you one tip if you have no one around you to speak Italian with. So tip number 1 would be to download apps such as Tandem or HelloTalk. This way you can find native speakers and talking to them, either writing or, you could organize a video call or something and just practice and talk to them. Personally, I find easier to speak with people that I don't know personally because I'm less shy. So I believe you might have the same issue or preference, let's maybe call it that way. If you are this kind of person, I highly suggest you to download such apps. Second tip on the speaking is speak with yourself. I know this sounds a bit crazy, but trust me, it's very helpful. For example, when you are at home, hopefully alone, but if not, don't worry, just do it anyway. Just try to describe what you're doing, what you are eating. If you are getting dressed, then maybe try to describe the things that you're wearing. We arrived to point number 4, and point number 4 is simply to embrace your mistakes and have fun in the language learning process. Again, don't be scared, don't be shy of making mistakes. I'll tell you one very funny mistake I did during a lesson of Russian language. So I basically said to the teacher that my homeland is made of 5 people instead of saying that my family is made of 5 people due to a false friend. This mistake was so funny that from that moment I really learned the 2 different words to say homeland and family, and I think I will never forget them anymore. Italians are quite friendly, don't be afraid again of being judged, just speak, and if you make mistakes, it will not be a big issue. So guys, that was all for today's video. I'm really curious to hear from you in the comments of this video. Why are you learning Italian? Is it just out of curiosity? Is it for traveling, work? Maybe you have Italian roots. What is your level of Italian? And especially what kind of videos on Italian language you'd like to see on my channel. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, don't forget to leave it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel to see more videos each week, and see you in my next one. Bye!